Welcome, Fashion Dolls. Happy, thankful Thursday, January 8th, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. A girl apologizes for being extremely fashionably late. But we are here today, Fashion Dolls. Happy Thursday. So, before we kick off this convo, Matthew, welcome to the Dollhouse. It is such a pleasure to have you here. So, how
Thank
has
you.
this new year been thus far? We're like a little bit in of this new year. So how has it been for you thus far?
I'm still just recovering from everything that took place last year, and I'm not one that's big on like New Year's resolutions and whatnot. I usually just try to keep the momentum from the year before, or I kind of got a thing where you can decide to change day by day, minute by minute. So I kind of just try to um, make new goals at the beginning of the year, but I don't get too wrapped up in like January 1st and the start of a new calendar year. But so far it's been trying to just kind of spend more time with family, recover from the holidays and whatnot, and just focus on the months ahead with a lot of new goals and whatnot that I have, and just try to elevate my life another step above where I was, a year ago.
And how did New Year? How did you celebrate the holidays?
With family, with just pretty much like with every year, with family. This year, a few people were sick in my family, so we didn't get together like we normally do. So we had to get together a little bit late. But yeah, Christmas is always with family. Opening up presents. I have three kids, so we get together with my side of the family. Then we get together with my in-laws, and we weren't able to do it like we normally do it on Christmas Day, but later on after Christmas, a few days, we were able to get together and eat and celebrate. And my kids get spoiled and everything. So, but New Year's we spend it usually with my in-laws, and we watch the ball drop and we eat, drink, and pretty much have fun. But it's a transitional period for my family. A lot of people are moving and relocating and stuff like that. So in a couple of years we'll probably be living in a different city and celebrating somewhere else.
Yes, 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 yes. And I was just telling one of my guests this week that when it's the Christmas holidays, it's the best time to be around family. It's
Right.
during that time. Then what did I do for the New Year's to ring it in? Everybody went out to celebrate the ball drop. I stayed home mostly, but the celebration was going on outside the window. So we live
Uh-huh.
near the ball field. So we could literally hear the fireworks show right here in this room that I'm sitting in.
Okay.
So everybody was celebrating and ringing in the new year that way. We typically would go and watch the fireworks show, and it would be like an artist that's in the South, because I'm in South Carolina. A lot of artists that are locally in here would do like a live show, and you could watch the fireworks as well too, and get something to eat, something fun to get the community
Hmm.
involved. But overall, I slept in, and then on Christmas I was sick, and there wasn't very much. Nothing diva like. I was throwing up. I must have caught a little stomach bug. Is something going around? But I
Yeah,
am
going
better now,
around.
you guys. Yes. Don't have to worry about it. No, I didn't feel pretty at all that Christmas evening. The morning I was fine, but I'm like, okay, I was eating something and then my stomach felt kind of queasy, and then yeah, the rest was
Uh,
it.
yeah, on New Year's
So
Day, I celebrated by going. We so locally, there's people that jump in because we live on Lake Michigan. So there's people that jump into Lake Michigan on New Year's Day on the winter January temperatures. It was 14 degrees here, and there was thousands of people down there jumping in the lake. So I did that for the first time, and it was an experience. So I did that on New Year's Day, and it was um, it was crazy. My whole body that was in the water got numb, and but it was something you want to do. Just say you did it. At least for me, I know a lot of people probably would never even dream of doing something like that. But that's what I spent my New Year's Day doing. It was fun though.
yes, and a relief. Going, and I tell people this all the time. Going into the year of 2026, it is the year of rejuvenation. It is the
Mhm.
year of resetting. So that feeling when you jumped into the water is how everyone is feeling in general of having to perspective. Rejuvenation and renewal is more important, which is why I know you guys are like, why choose the color green this season? Because last season, season 19, it was the colors were blue, they were silver, and they were black. And I chose that as my period of change and awakening. But this one right, when I think of green, I think of nature. So
Mhm.
significant meaning of nature and being surrounded by just beauty. Think of a lush green forest. So I just put my little mood board together on Pinterest and I'm like, what colors can I go for this season? And green is perfect for what we're talking about right now, which is thing. Now, speaking into the new year, let's start at the beginning of your story, Matthew. Now, you sent me a film and I did watch it. Outstanding project, and I'm
Thank
looking
you.
forward to part two, which we'll talk about. But I want to start at the beginning. Matthew Kenner, and who was it for you? Because we all pull inspiration and we all have inspiration way of someone that made us want to get into the business. And I know for me growing up, in the beauty side, the beauty and the fashion side, it was, and I'm gonna take y'all way back. Even though I'm 32 years old, you like how you know about this person, this person. For me, the
Um,
women who inspired me were Cheryl Lee Ralph. She's number one. Number two would be Grace Jones, and then number three would be Lynn Whitfield. And number four would
mhm.
be Janet Hubert. So these were the women that I grew up watching on television, emulating them, their style, their presence, their cadence, everything. Diane Carroll,
Okay.
Holly Berry, number six. So I'm the beauty and the fashion side. But for you, who were the people that inspired you growing up to get into acting and writing?
Well, me, so I'm from born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're in the Midwest. We're about hour and a half north of Chicago, and not a lot of outlets for creative people here as far as making it to the big stage. So um, I started in grade school. I was born and raised here. I was a quiet kid who was, I guess you could say, kind of considered socially awkward when I was young. I was real shy, but I went to a creative arts school for grade school, and we had drama class, and we had music class, and dance, and all the different arts. The only thing that at the time when I was a kid that appealed to me was drama. I wasn't very outgoing, and I wasn't confident and social enough to really be on stage performing in front of people, doing solo performances. But I always felt drawn to acting, to drama. I had a real big imagination. I was always daydreaming. Um, I was always imagining myself as like a superhero and action movie star, because I watched a lot of movies growing up. So I always imagined myself being something other than what I felt like I was at the time. Because as a kid, I didn't have like the highest confidence. I was sometimes other kids would laugh at me and stuff like that, especially at school. But I was always imagining myself being something great that people like really respected or looked up to, and people that people thought was cool. So the seed was kind of planted back then when I was a kid with my imagination and all the make believe that we did when I play outside with my friends. We pretended to be all different types of things, Ninja Turtles and Transformers and all different, X-Men. We had a lot of fun. So uh, by the time I got in high school, I I watched so many different movies, and one of the actors that stood out to me the most, and the movie that caught my attention at a young age was Denzel Washington. I know a lot of people
Oh,
list his name, but the movie for me was Glory. So I remember watching Glory, which came out when I was very young. But I remember the first time I watched it, I think I was like either fifth or sixth grade, and it was like history class, and we were learning about the Civil War. We were learning about that platoon in particular, the um the I forgot the exact name, the 55th Massachusetts regiment in the Civil War that was the first all black unit that fought in the Civil War for the Union. So that movie was about that. And Denzel Washington played one of the soldiers in the platoon, and there was a scene where I think he stole some bread, and he had gotten caught, so he's being disciplined for it, and they were going to whip him, so they had him tied to like a tree or a post. They stripped him of his shirt, and Matthew Broderick played the general who was placed in charge of him, and he was giving the order to discipline Denzel Washington's character, and another, not sure what his rank was, but another guy was in charge of whipping him. So Denzel Washington was like had his hands tied to the tree and was looking at Matthew Broderick's character, and he's being whipped, and he's just staring, Matthew Broderick's character in the eye the whole time as he's getting whipped, and he's trying not to show any pain. He's just like he's flinching, he's wincing a little bit, but he's not showing any kind of pain. And then after maybe like the seventh or eighth whip to his back, he starts tears start slowly trickling down his face, and before you know it, he's just got tears streaming down his face, but he's still not trying to show any pain. He's just looking right at Matthew Broderick's character the entire time. And it was just, to me, it was like so powerful to see, well, to imagine being that person in real life, that he's so like, he's bottling up so much rage, but he's like controlling himself, and he's controlling it, and he's having to endure that. But at the same time, he's letting the guy know that is in charge of disciplining him, that I can take whatever you throw at me, and you wouldn't be strong enough to do what I'm doing, but I'm enduring this, and you're not going to break me. It was that kind of feeling, that kind of energy, and that performance. I was able to just like sit there and portray someone that has to endure that kind of abuse, but then hold it together. But then sooner or later, it just kind of comes out on its own with the tears coming down his face. And it was that performance that kind of like made me realize that I want to be. That's what I want to do. I want to be an actor. I want to be on screen portraying a role like that, or and something like that. That those kind of emotions. So when in high school, I did a play. I was in 10th grade, and I played an old man. It was a play called The Lottery, and I was only 16 years old, but I played Old Man Warner. So they had to put a bunch of powder in my hair and make it white and everything. And I walked with a cane, and I was hunched over, and I had all the mannerisms of an old man. And everybody was giving me all this credit and, marveling at my performance. And my family came to watch me, and my parents were like real impressed with how I performed. And it was one of the few times as a kid that they had told me they were proud of me. So that right there, that really planted the seed for me to be like, yeah, this is what I want to do when I grow up. So that's pretty much, I guess you could say, how it started.
I got you are now. And with that, just studying Denzel and his incredible, I mean, he's done so many iconic roles. I mean, where do we begin? Of course, Malcolm X is one. Equalizer too, which is not to, just recently.
Right.
It's light because Whitney Houston was in it, and y'all know I'm a big Whitney fan.
Right. Yeah.
So the preacher's
Yeah.
wife, I mean, yes, the preacher's wife. Of course, Training Day. One of
One of
my
my favorites.
guests just this week was saying Training Day was how he yes, Training Day.
Yep.
He was saying that's one of his. That's what inspired him to get into acting
Same here.
and take it to another level. So I mean, he's done so many iconic roles out of time. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Right. Yeah. No, no. Training Day was definitely one of my favorite movies. And it's also another film that inspired me to want to get into acting as well. And because it showed that Denzel, an actor like him who has been typically typecast, can play
Oh
a
yeah.
different type of role. That can be that villain that can be outside of his norm and still own it and make it him, authentically him. So yeah, he's one of the main people I watched growing up that really inspire me to get into this line of work. And it's not even work to me. It's it's fun. It's I feel like it's what I'm meant to do. So he's definitely one of my biggest inspirations by far.
Absolutely. My next question for you is, since we're talking about ration and goals and purpose, do you life has a purpose, or is it just what we make it?
It's a good question. I think life has a purpose. I think we all have a purpose. Is that purpose, very specific? Like you're here for this one specific thing, and you have to, achieve it. I'm not sure, but I believe that it is what we make it. But I think your instincts are there to guide you towards what you're meant to do. What's your strengths? Your strengths are a way of, the creator telling you this is what I put you here to do, in a sense, I believe. And if you have a certain interest, or you have a certain skills that that are naturally a part of you, I think that is what you're meant to do. And it's up to you whether you decide to pursue those passions of yours, or you put those skills that you have naturally to use and monetize them, or to help better other people's lives. I think that's up to you. And in that sense, it is what you make it. But I think life does have a purpose, and once you now, it may take you a while to achieve that purpose, and I don't think your purpose is fulfilled even when you um, achieve a certain level, amount of money, or achieve a certain level of fame, or recognition, or anything like that. But I think we may not know exactly what our purpose is, and it is to a degree what we make it. But I believe there is a purpose of some kind to life. I don't think it's just random, even though it appears that way scientifically. So I would say, yeah, there is a purpose.
Big shout out to my colleague Deshaun. Shout outs to Deshaun. Yes, get into the beat, get into the beauty, get into it. My makeup artist and beauty contributor here at Style by Stevie Melanie, Nalamont Bridgers, for making sure that I'm put together every single interview. We have done this will be interview 939. I'm
Oh, wow.
checking at the channel right now. We are well off. Yes, 939.
Congratulations.
No, 940. And then the one with Ellen will be 941. So 941 shows today. Thank you all so much for your love and your unconditional support. We are well off on the road to 1,000 shows. She's looking gorgeous. Thank roll over and get up out of bed.
Congratulations, by the way.
All right. So my next question, what were you saying?
No, I'm saying
I'm sorry.
congratulations on the 940.
Yes. Your interview 940. Yes. 939. So your interview 940. Interview 941. Yes, you guys are getting two interviews today. So Ellen will be joining me at 4. But right now we are with the amazing Matthew Kenner, and we're going to get into this project he sent me to check out before we schedule this interview. And then I'm going to talk about something that happened on my colleague Bubs the Gods platform. Yes, shout outs to Bubs. Bubs just hit his 1K, but we're going to be talking that later in the show. You guys follow me on Instagram. You guys have seen the video already, and I'll be addressing that. That's why Deshaun is laughing. But my goodness. All right. My next question for you is, how do you find meaning in everyday life? Because we all have a purpose, but how do you find it?
Oh, um, I think the way I would find meaning in everyday life is, did I do anything that affected other people in a positive way? Did I do something to help somebody in some kind of way? Did I, whether it's just, talking to them or listening to them, or did I do a good deed for someone as far as physically helping them? Um, because a lot of times, I struggle just like any other person with, so-called positive thinking, and a lot of times I can go down a spiral, a rabbit hole of negative thinking when things don't happen the way I thought they should have happened, when I thought they should have happened, and et cetera, et cetera. But like today, for instance, there was a guy that I work with who has a lot of anxiety, and he's considered to be bipolar. And today there's a lot of people that tell him stuff and give him information that they act like they're doing him a favor by informing him of certain things, but I think they give him a lot of information to rile him up. So today I was talking to him and telling him not to react so quickly, and be careful of who he's talking to, and be careful of considering the source of the information, and why this person is telling you what they're telling you, because they, most likely just want to see a reaction out of you. They're telling you so and so, or this person is doing this to you behind your back, but what is their purpose for telling you that? Or, so I think my good deed today was talking with him and being genuine and trying to help calm him down instead of hype him up. So I find purpose with things like that. How did I help impact someone's life, and how did I impact the world around me in a positive way? Because it's very easy to do negative things. It's very easy to react emotionally, but um, I try, and doesn't mean I always achieve it necessarily, because I do plenty of things that aren't favorable at times, but I try to impact people around me positively. So that's one way I guess you could say that I find purpose in life every day. And entertaining people is one of those ways that I would say impacts people in a positive way.
My love, a big shout outs to Durant Searcy. We just kicked off this season Durant, so make sure you guys go and check out that interview. If you love all things fragrance as I do, make sure you guys head on over and subscribe to Durant Searcy's The Scent Down with Searcy. So you guys head on over and check out his channel and check out his newest single, which is out currently right now, Rose Colored Glasses. Beautiful song. Y'all head on over and check that out. And I'm going to have Durant back on the show. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And add him if you see him in the chat. So we're going to have a few familiar faces pop up in the chat. Welcome as you are coming in. Welcome. And as you come in, hit that thumbs up and also subscribe so you'll be notified when Style by Stevie is live. And we're on doing interviews. But we talked about purpose. This project that you sent it to me and you said, check it out and let me know what you think. We're going to talk about that because it's powerful and it also has a message in it as well too. Diary of an Accomplice, which was
Mhm.
released just last year. Matthew, as the babies would say in the ballroom, tens across the board. Outstanding job.
Thank you.
Outstanding job.
Thank you.
And talk about the meaning of this film and how important it is, and then I'm gonna take you to let Matt over and talk about this project as well too, because we need more projects like this, which highlights something that is very important, and that is DV. And if I'm using lingo for YouTube purposes because I say that word.
Right.
African American women will experience DV in their lifetime, and this to the Women's Policy Research. Black all women who experience DV. Now, this film touched on a subject that a lot of women are experiencing and are afraid to talk about. So, the importance of this film, uh, going into character, how difficult was it in this film? But how difficult was it for you filming some of those scenes?
It was very difficult initially. So when I first got offered the role, it's kind of a long story, but I got picked for the role. It was through a mutual friend that I had with the woman who wrote this script, and she had originally wrote it as a book about 20 years ago, and she had been encouraged to make it into a screenplay, and but she had no experience in film. So, long story short, fast forward years later, the woman that I knew was best friends with this woman's daughter, and so she had met me through acting, and she suggested me, and eventually the woman, wanted me to play this role, and I originally didn't want to do it because I thought, there was nothing positive about this character. And that was me being judgmental of the character. So one of the things you don't want to do when you are acting is you don't want to be judgmental of the character you're playing, because there's always a story of how the character became who they are. So at first I was reluctant. I didn't want to play it. I didn't want to be a guy that's beating on a woman, especially a woman who is literally doing nothing wrong to her husband and is, enduring this abuse. And but after thinking about it for a few days, I figured, you know what, there is a message behind this film here. I think it needs to be, put on Front Street. It needs to be talked about more. And there's people that are being abused, and who are abusers from both genders. It's not just one way. But this film in particular highlights the male on female abuse because of the author. She had experienced it from a family member of hers. Her cousin was murdered by the father of her kids back when back in 1989, and that is what started her journey that led her to to write this story. So I figured, there is a message behind this story, and I figured also me playing this character could be therapeutic because I've never been this guy in real life. I've never done any of these things that my character did in this film, but I do have that authentic aggression that the character Melvin showed in that film, and I figured I could channel it properly um, through this character, and it could be a proper way to channel my own emotions and my own aggression that I've been on a journey to keep in check myself. So I figured it would be a good role for me to play ultimately. And then while we're shooting this short film, it was we had to me and the young lady that played my wife, we had to joke around, believe it or not, we had to joke around a lot on set because the story otherwise it would have been very somber. And so her and I, we were joking nonstop. I mean, we joked, you would have thought it was a comedy, the film, the way me and her were joking behind scenes. And but it is what we had to do. It was pretty necessary to keep our mindset right when or just stay
Yes.
lighthearted while playing these characters and telling the story. So yeah, it was challenging, and but it was easy for me. It was easy for me to bring the proper energy to Melvin to play this character. But yeah, at first it was very challenging to mentally to go there because I didn't want to stay in that dark zone when tapping into that character. I wanted to be happy and be more lighthearted when we call cut. So that her and I joking around and other people in the crew joking around helped us do that and helped me stay right mentally while shooting this film.
And that was going to be my next question to ask you, because the tension from these scenes are so thick, like there has to be something going on behind the it, and so that when we get in character, it's something else. You got to be able to turn it on and turn it off. And I can remember when Monique said she did press, it's the same exact thing. Like she said, her character was sick, and people who are abusers are sick. There is something going on there because the
Uh-huh.
trauma that they've experienced, they are now projecting that same thing onto somebody else. So
Right.
everybody has a backstory, 100%.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to a sequel because the ending just left hanger when she tried. I can't give it away. You guys have to go and check out the film for yourself, the short film for yourself, and it is right here on YouTube. And the film is called Diary of an Accomplice, and it is a powerful film, and it touches on DV. And I will leave it at that. I can't say the actual thing. We're on YouTube, and you know they will clip,
Right.
demonetize. They've gotten that. I've already gotten in trouble. That's why we're doing the interview here. They cracking down. I will just say that.
Right. Yeah, I definitely understand. Yeah. But
Sunshine.
that the film so Diary of an Accomplice is actually a short film that is so it's a feature length film, but what we're starting is a fundraiser campaign to make the feature length film. So the short film is a proof of concept meant to as a tool to help raise funds for the feature film. So that's what we're on January 17th. We will be beginning the fundraising campaign to raise funds for the feature length film. So for those of you who do watch the film, if you would like to see how the film concludes, you know, how it ends and how it starts before that, um, please come support. It will be on Kickstarter.com, Diary of an Accomplice feature film. And I will leave a link with you, Stevie. But please support, contribute any way that you can, and we will be able to make this film, complete this project, and get this story out there on a mass level beyond what we've done so far. So yeah, that's what's coming up, and that film definitely will continue. Will make sense from the short film once it's actually completed.
Yes, because it can't just leave on that cliffhanger. I was expecting to see something more, but you guys can go and donate. That's what it's about, supporting filmmakers who are out here telling real life stories. Are people who have experienced this in their
Hmm.
lives, in their present time, or might know a friend or a family member who experienced a form of abuse, emotional, it can be physical. But make sure that you are watching this documentary because it also saves someone's life, telling them the situation. Most women don't make it out. Most women don't make it out.
Hmm.
And the hardest part is leave. So you leave the first time, but if you've got children with the other individual, that's even more tougher because you're just like, I don't want my kids to be without a father. I don't have kids. Well, I'm a childless dog lady, shall I say that to you? So I have a 5-year-old toy poodle by the name of Coco. I was gonna bring her on the show today, but she's back from the groomers not too long ago. So it's difficult if you've got children in the situation because just like we've seen the worst case scenario.
I don't know if you can hear me, Stevie, but you froze. Oh, you're back. Okay. Can you hear me?
It ended, but we're back. We're back, y'all. And we're back.
Okay.
We're back. Chef Scott, can y'all see? And y'all know the colors. Comments if you guys can see me and hear me. Let me yeah, we were just talking about the person leaving the situation and how difficult it may be, especially if you have children with the person, because what will happen is 9 times out of 10, that person will be nasty and petty and they will try to get full custody of the kid. It's just like, no, no, no,
Hmm.
no. We have to do something because you are a dangerous person and abusers, they will try to manipulate you. They will do everything. And how do I know? Because I am a survivor of emotional abuse.
Hmm.
And I've share that here on this show. And in my most recent interview last year with my girl, Faith is the Substance. Make sure you guys go and check that out. No contact. You got to cut off with the person. You know,
Hmm.
gears. But hopefully, this story can help save someone's life and help them get out of that situation that they are in to move on and complete their life. So
Hmm.
we're going to move on and shift gears here to the next. What else are you looking forward to in the year of 2026? Because you not only act, but you write, you direct, an award winning actor, director, writer. So, what else are you looking forward to in this year?
So we have a few projects that we worked on last year that we'll be releasing in 2026. There's a film that I co-wrote and co-produced called "What Have We Won." It's a film that is about it's a comedy, and it's about two grown men who don't have their lives together, who are roommates. One of them, my character, is a former military guy who gets out of the military and has post-traumatic stress syndrome, and he has nightmares, different things like that. And that's the more serious aspect of the story. But then the comedic aspect is that him and his roommate smoke weed all day. They don't have any real, well, his roommate doesn't have any ambition, but um, they pull some strings, and one of them comes across some lottery tickets, and the other one comes across something else that helps change their destiny, and they end up coming upon a large amount of money, and then changing their lives and moving to the west to the mountains, and but the problems end up following them anyway, and they ended up finding themselves being hunted by a couple deranged killers, and it just shows them how they get out of that situation. So also, there's Diary of a Accomplice. We're working on creating that feature film version of that. Um, I have another film that I'm currently working on myself. It's about a feature film that I wrote a while back, but it's called Girl in Traffic, and it's about human trafficking, essentially. And looking to get that film funded and off the ground, hopefully in 2026. Also, I have another film that I'm currently writing. It's about also about DV, but it's from the man's point of view. The man is the abused as
Yes,
opposed to
because it
the
does
abuser.
happen to men too.
And but it's interesting. It's quite different from Diary of an Accomplice, but it's based on different accounts from people that I've known, like friends of mine who have had girlfriends or partners who have done some of the things that I have in this script, or things that I've experienced myself in a relationship. So I put it together, and we hope to be shooting a short film version of that within the next few months, where we can also use that as a tool to create the feature length version of that. But also have a couple other projects coming out in 2026. One is called "And the Record Keeps Playing." That's another short film that may end up on Tubi. It's kind of a love story, and supposed to take place in the '90s, so it's nostalgic. And then there's another film. Um, it's you actually had the director on as a guest. Um, Antonia and Antonia Harris. You had she wrote and directed this film. It's called Too Soon. That should be being released in 2026. So I have a few projects coming out, and then we have a few. I'm slated for a few films that will be shot also in 2026 coming up. So hopefully, hopefully this year, we're able to take it to another level, and continue to be busy, and keep telling stories, and just get our art out there, to share with the world.
Yes, he is, Chef Ladybug. She says that you are a very busy man. And yes, I did have
Thank you.
her on the show, and she was a breath of fresh air. Just her personality. everything. And we both have something in common. We both love fragrances as well. So she came in and she supported my interview with Durant promoting season 20, and she was right there in the audience. So very supportive and just an amazing energy. She's so sweet. So shout outs to Antonia, Renee. Definitely, definitely. So next hour, fashions. We're going to get into our game here with Matthew, and I do this with all of my guests. And of course, it would be right to do it again in the new year of 2026. You guys already know what's up. It is time to turn those tables and also do the rapid five. Now, we're going to start off with the rapid five first. In the rapid five, my guests have to tell me five things they can't live without. And I'll go first. I'll give an example. And these are things that I love. I love General Hospital. Uh huh. Yes. I love peaches and cream ice cream. Those are two things that I absolutely adore. Those are my guilty pleasures. And I can give you another one. Real Housewives of Atlanta. So definitely, those are three things that I love. But Matthew has to tell me five of his guilty pleasures that he can't live without. Because you as my girl Chef Ladybug said in the comments, Chef Scott said in the comments, uh, you are very busy. And what do you do in your downtime? What are the five things that you can't live without when you're either on set or it can be home? Either one, either or.
So in my
So
downtime, I
in my
spend a lot of
downtime,
time with my
I
family, my
spend a lot of
kids.
time
I
with
have
my
three
family,
kids.
my kids, three
Usually
kids,
taking
um,
them to their different
taking them
activities.
to their different
They play
activities,
different sports and
they play
whatnot, but
different sports and whatnot.
Netflix
But
is probably
Netflix
one of the main things
is
I can't live
probably one
without.
of the main things I can't live
I spend a lot of time when I'm just
I spend a
relaxing
lot of
at home,
time
when I
just
actually have
relaxing at home when I
some
actually
quiet
have
time. I'm watching Netflix.
quiet
I binge
time. I'm
watch
watching
different
Netflix.
TV
I
shows
watch
and
different TV
movies.
shows and movies.
Also YouTube. I'm always on
Also
YouTube,
YouTube. I'm always on
whether it's
YouTube, whether it's
whether it's something educational or I'm
whether
just
it's
entertaining
something
myself.
education or
I find myself scrolling YouTube a
I find
lot,
myself
just
scrolling
watching
YouTube
short
a lot,
and
just watching short
different
and
videos on different topics that are
videos on
entertaining to me.
different topics that
And if it
are
wasn't for
entertaining to
YouTube, I
me.
wouldn't be able to
And if
survive
it wasn't for
because
YouTube, I
I would
wouldn't
just
be
get
able to
be bored.
survive
I'd go
because
crazy
I would just
in
be
any
bored.
kind
I'd
of
go
downtime
crazy
that I have.
in any kind of downtime
Um,
that I have.
I have to be
Um,
able to exercise
I
and
have to
work
be
out.
able to
Um,
exercise and work out.
that's one of the things that helps keep me centered
That's
and
one of the things
sane
that helps
is
keep me centered and sane.
being able to
Yes.
work out.
Being
And
able to work out.
it's
And
just as much a mental thing
it's
as it
just
is
as
a
much a
physical
mental
thing.
thing
So
as
if it wasn't for
if it wasn't
finding
for
time to work out on a
finding
regular
time
basis,
to work
I'd
out on
be
a regular basis,
going
I'd
crazy
be
mentally.
going crazy
So
mentally.
I'd
So
probably make,
I'd probably
I'd probably do
make,
some not
I'd
too
probably do
smart things.
some not too smart things.
So
Um,
those are three things
so
there.
those are
Also,
three things there.
I
Also,
love cherry pie,
I love
and that's
cherry
one of my
pie,
favorite
and that's one of my
desserts
favorite
ever. Cherry pie with cherry cobbler
cherry
pie with
pie with
ice
cherry
cream.
cobbler pie with ice
Eat a lot of that during the
cream. Either
holidays,
a lot of that
and
during the
I try
holidays.
to eat
So I
healthy for
try
the
to
most
eat,
part.
healthy for the
That's
most
one of
part.
my
That's
guilty
one of my
pleasures that
guilty
be
pleasures.
hard to
Be
give up.
hard to give up.
Um,
Um,
Also,
also,
I love to sleep. Even though I don't get enough of it,
even
I
though I don't
love
get enough
sleeping
of it,
in.
I love sleeping.
I love, if I'm not doing anything
If I'm
in my
not doing anything,
downtime,
my down,
I probably will lay down,
I
watch
probably will
Netflix,
lay
and then
down,
fall asleep.
watch Netflix.
So I'll get a double dose of,
So I'll get
two
a
things
double dose of
that I love,
things
Netflix and
that
chill
I love.
and sleep. So,
Netflix and chill and sleep.
um, yeah, those are
Um,
pretty much
yeah,
some
those
things
are
I
pretty
can't
much
really do without
some
right
things I
there.
can't really do without. Right there.
And I'm so glad you mentioned sleep. Let me get to that because I told you guys that I was going to tell you what happened. Shout outs to my colleague Bubs the God. I'm going to play some audio for y'all. He did his live yesterday. He just reached 1K subscribers here on YouTube. So congratulate him when y'all see him. Head on over and subscribe to his channel. So, okay, I'm going to play the audio from yesterday. All right. Y'all are going to get a kick out of Bubs. So let me go on ahead and play this audio for y'all, and you will hear what happened on his panel. So let me go on ahead and get that up.
I remember your name. So again, I want to get to know my new subscribers. So y'all come through. You share your thoughts, whether you agree, whether you like, okay, hold on, Bubs, I don't know about that. Like, share it with me. I'm not an echo chamber. I want to learn too. So to a true Libra. Shout out to, of course, again, King Deshaun, girl, because he's the one that blessed Nick with cash out, girl. I'm gonna have to reenact the damn song at the beginning for this nigga one day in life, girl, and I feel like he gonna hold me to that. Okay? I think we already said Queen Spicy right here, so shout out to Queen Spicy. Queen Stevie, shout out to Queen Stevie. She probably going to La La Land, girl. Sound like a single engine jet plane.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there. So when we were doing the celebration live, I'm so glad Matthew mentioned it. I fell asleep in the broadcast. There was nothing cute. Microphone was still on. Woke up at, I want to say, around what time did I wake up? Because he did the stream around 8, 9ish or so. And so I woke up, my phone was on 3%. Woke up, the phone was on still, and then I went back and I watched the replay to see what happened. And I hear myself snoring in the microphone on live, y'all. I didn't find out until I watched the replay back. Done fell asleep in the live. Deshaun and Bubs were sitting there laughing. I'm just like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I can't believe I'm sleeping hard. What I do is I sort of go on ahead and just phase on out the live. But I couldn't help it. But we always have a good time on the panel. So y'all head on over and subscribe to Bubs to God. And again, congrats, Bubs, to that for that 1K. I predicted that it was going to happen, that he was going to reach that goal this year. So 2026 is the year of reaching goals. And before we let you go, Matthew, my last question is, how do you interpret coincidences and serendipity?
Um, Part of
Um,
me doesn't really believe in
Part of me doesn't
coincidences.
really believe in coincidence.
I kind of believe that things
I kind of believe that
seem like a
things
coincidence,
seem like
but they're really
but they're really
meant. They're really
meant, they're
signs.
really
Like signs. Like when
signs,
something happens, I mean,
like
it may
something
be a
happens. I
sign
mean, it may
to
be a
tell
sign
you. Like if
to
you're
tell you,
talking to someone
like if you're talking to
that has the
someone
same name
that
as your
has the
mother,
same
and you haven't
name as
talked
your
to your
mother,
mom
and you haven't
Oh,
in
talked
a
to your
long
mom
time, that
in
could
a
be
long
a
time,
sign to
that
call,
could
give
be a
your mother a
sign to
call,
call and give your
or
mother a call,
get a,
or
you know,
get a,
like if you have a child and you
like if you
watch
have
a
a
movie
child and you watch a
and
movie
something happens to that
and
kid in the
something
movie,
happens to
that
that
kid has the
kid in the
same name as
movie, that
your
kid has the
kid,
same name as
your child,
your
that could be
child,
a
that
sign
could
to
be
tell, tell you
sign,
to
tell
keep a better eye on your
keep a
child,
better eye on your child,
keep a better,
keep a
be
better,
closer to them,
be closer
not
to them,
take people for granted, things
not take
like
people
that.
for granted,
So
things like that. So
when I come across things like that,
when I come across things like that,
I look at it like a sign
I look at it
from,
like a
the
sign
creator that
from the creator
you
that
should probably pay more
you should
attention to this
probably
aspect of your life, or you
to your
know,
life,
not
you
take
know,
this for granted over here.
not take
Stuff
this
like that.
for
That's
granted over
kind of how
here.
I think.
Stuff like that. That's kind of how
That
I think.
they're
That
probably coincidences really are just
probably
signs
coincidences
to,
really are just signs,
teach you something, to tell you something
teach you something, to tell you
about,
something
your life.
about
So that's the way I
your life.
interpret it.
So that's the way I interpret it.
and we all have these feelings of deja vu, like, oh my God, is this really happening to me in this moment, in this time? And we've all in our career have sat down and actually felt it. Like, even as an actor, I'm pretty sure Matthew can attest to this. Like, you're sitting in the chair, you're reading over your lines, and let's just say, and I'm manifesting it, I'm putting it out there. Angela Bassett walks in. You're working with Angela Bassett on set, and she just walks up and just like taps you, like, "Hi, how are you doing? It's nice to meet you." Helping you go over your lines, like this is unreal. And I know we all have those moments, those out of body experiences. Like, God, is this really happening to me? Like, what is going on? Like, you're sending
Hmm.
me a sign here, a key, clear, and here, and I'm encouraging each and every one of you before we wrap, and I let Matthew give his final thought of the day, and then I'll give mine, and then Ellen will be joining me, and I'll do the same thing with her. But of course, me and Ellen will be chatting on Vintage Glamour. You guys know I love Marilyn Monroe. But back to the point here. um, that feeling, I want you all to go and do something intentional. Vision boards have helped. Vision boards have helped me a long way. And I remember doing one back last year in 2025, back in 2024, like, okay, I want this. And one of the goals that I hit was 900 interviews, and we're still going on. So this will be 941 with Matthew, 900, yeah, 940 with Matthew, 941 with Ellen, which is coming up. So I want you all to be intentional. Write down your goals. Write down things that you want to work on in this year of 2026. And as Matthew says, resolutions, New Year's resolutions, like, so old, outdated, but just go for it. If it's something that you want to do in the year of 2026, go for it. I want to write. I'd love to continue hosting Style by Stevie. I love my platform. I created it. This is my baby. But I would love to also step behind the scenes and write, produce, or direct for other hosts of their platforms as well too. And I have my brother K Tooks coming on the show, who's been like a amazing mentor to me and just encouraging me, like, okay, sis, you want to do it this way. And that's what you need in this business, is people who are like brothers and sisters to you, who will help guide you and mentor you along the way. So that's what I wanted to say. Go into this year intentional, purposeful, going after what you want to do, and write it down. I put a word on my vision board and I'm looking at it now. And the word is more, because I do want more. More amazing conversations like these, like I just had with Matthew. I had such a great time. Divine conversation and more fun conversations. And hopefully, you guys have been telling me that it's been an escape and a getaway. And I just want to say thank you all, because doing Style by Stevie for me has been an escape and get away from the real world. I mean, we use of things that people go through in everyday life, but I try to make it fun. There's nothing fun about what me and Matthew. There's nothing fun about that. But the issues that go on politically, that's where the fun kicks in. You'll hear me insult the orange man that's in office, and you guys love that. And I love it too. It's sort of like a out therapeutic for me to be able to tap into that, and you guys love it because it's the things that you are thinking. So find yourself an outlet that works for you, and pick up that phone, pick up that microphone. And I've seen them. You can get them off of Timo Anywhere, and you can record whatever you want to. YouTube here is full of knowledge, like Matthew just said. So that's what I wanted to close with. But Matthew, final thoughts on anyone going after their passions, or just being in the new year of 2026, what would you tell them?
There is no right
There
time.
is no
There's no,
right time.
waiting. If you want to
There's
do
no
something, if you have
waiting. If you
something
want to do
placed in
something,
your
if you
heart
have something
that you feel
in your
like you
heart
should do, if you
that you feel
have
like
a
you should do,
passion,
if you
if you have something that
passion,
you're good at, and whatever
have
natural
something that you're
talents,
good at, and whatever
or any
natural
dream
talent,
that is unfulfilled
any
at this
dream
point that
that
you
is
really
unfulfilled,
always dreamt about,
really always
go
dreamt
for it
about,
and go all out.
go for it
Always
and
bet
go
on
all out.
yourself.
Always bet on
There is,
yourself.
you get one life
There is,
that we
you
know
get
of.
life,
Life is
um,
short.
life is
Even
short.
if it lives to be
Even
120,
if
that's
it be
still not that
120,
long.
that's still not
And
that long.
there is no
And
time. You
there is
cannot
no time.
be
You
worried
cannot
about being
be worried about being
comfortable.
comfortable.
If you want to go for something,
Want to
go
go for
for it
something
now, and don't settle.
now,
Go
and don't
for
settle. Go for
achieving the highest success you possibly
achieving
could
the highest
imagine,
success you possibly
whatever you are good
whatever
at and whatever you feel
are
like
good
you're
at
meant to
and
do.
whatever you
But
feel
at
like
the
you're
same
meant to do.
time, always
But
help
at the
others,
same time,
help,
always help
less
others.
fortunate.
Help, less fortunate.
When you do reach whatever success
When you do
you
reach whatever
aim
success
for, never look
aim
down on those
for,
people who are
never look
starting where
down
you
on those
once
people
were,
who are
or
starting
people that look up to you, or
or people that look
people
up
that
to
appear
you,
to not be
or
as fortunate.
people
Always
that
help
appear to
those.
not be
Be a
fortunate. Always help
mentor,
those. Be a
not
mentor,
not an
not
instructor. Be a
not an
mentor
instructor. Be a
and
mentor.
stay
And
kind. And I know that can be
stay
difficult
kind. And I
sometimes,
know that
but
can be
be
times,
positive
but
and be
be
kind to
positive
people.
and be
Be a
kind.
positive change to
Be a
people.
positive change to people.
So that's that. Those are
So
my
those
my
are
thoughts.
my thoughts.
And I'll add on before we go, because it is time for Ellen. Ellen is up next, so I'm going to start another live. Make sure you guys come back, refresh your drinks and snacks, and come back again for another great conversation. Uh, make sure that you light to someone who is dark time in a dark period. I'm telling you, you wouldn't believe how many DMs and messages I've gotten from people when the election happened in 2025. A lot of people were like, we're scared. What do we do from here? You keep living, you keep surviving. Don't let fear stop you from living your life and being your best version of yourself in any year. 2025, last year, or 2026, right now, we're in 2026. So don't let fear stop you from being your best version of yourself. I feel fabulous. I feel amazing. I feel rejuvenated. Like a weight has been lifted off of me that I've shared transparency with people. And when you're transparent with people at a certain point in your life, it's like, whoa, like, really, is this real? So I want you guys to take that into consideration. Anybody who's battling with anything, any darkness, be a light in someone's life and
Yeah.
uplift someone because you never know what a person going through in their life. And as Matthew just said, life is too short. Life is too short. We lost one of our favorite, well, for me personally, we lost an amazing woman. And I'm gonna take you way, way back. The Golden Girls is one of my favorite shows, and I'm a big Betty White fan. I love her.
Yeah.
She brought joy into any room that she came in. And I was watching the old game shows like the Match Game and all of this that she was on with my mom. And I'm like, I love me some Betty White. I love the Golden Girls. And yes, which character was I? I was Blanche. I was Blanche for sure. But she brought joy into a room, and I want you guys to do the same exact thing. I want you to walk into a room and bring joy, exude joy. And that's what I wanted to leave you guys with. All right. So, Matthew, thank you so much for a dynamic conversation, and I would love to have you back on again and let
Absolutely.
everyone know where they can follow you at.
You can follow me on
You can follow
Instagram
me
at
on Instagram
Ken Ultra
and also
MKENNULTRA or Matthew Kenner on
or
Facebook.
Matthew Kenner on
I
Facebook.
post stuff that I
I
do
post
normally.
stuff that I do normally.
I'll have YouTube
Um,
links
I
to
have
short
YouTube
films,
links,
different
short
projects that I work on there.
project I work on there.
And yeah,
And
please support Diary of
yeah,
an Accomplice
please support Diary of an Accomplice
starting January 17th so we
January
can
17th.
continue to keep that story.
That story.
And
And
yeah,
yeah,
just be on the
just
lookout
be
for upcoming
lookout
work and
coming
sharing my art with the
sharing
world.
my art with the world.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome, and I would love to have you back, and we'll set that up. And make sure you guys go and check out Diary of an Accomplice here on YouTube. Again, amazing project, and it has a story behind it. So I want you all to take that away. Coming up next, we have the beautiful Ellen Margareta Norden. Refresh your drinks and come back, and we'll start a new live. I'll see you there.